Assalamualaikum and good day. My name is Amira Mardina, and for this video presentation, me and my team will be doing a presentation and compare contrast on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. First, let's take a look of what Harry Potter is. What is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone? So, Harry Potter is a book series that was written by J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone, was the first book of the series, and the first release was on June 26, 1997. So, what is Harry Potter about? So, Harry Potter, the main protagonist of the series, is a young boy who learns that he is actually the son of two of the most powerful wizards, and he possesses unique magical powers of his own. He was invited to enroll in a magical boarding school called Hogwarts. There, he meets a few friends and a few enemies, where he finds his way to survive the school, to survive all the challenges that happens there, and to discover the truth about his parents' mysterious death. So first, I will be explaining the differences that we can find between the movie and the text. So the first one, it's not as important as some of the other differences, or maybe it does not really make much of an impact for me personally, which is the color of Harry's eyes. Now, if you look at this passage, this part from the book, on page 14, you can see that paragraph, they explain what Harry looks like. They were talking about his appearance, and it clearly stated that he has green eyes, bright green eyes. However, in the movie, you would notice that Harry has blue eyes. So I thought that maybe this may not be as important as it should be, but I got curious and did some reading on it, and it turns out that they made that change in the movie because the actor who played Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe, had blue eyes, and he felt uncomfortable when wearing contact lenses. So they ended up just changing Harry's eye color from green to blue ultimately. The next difference is when Harry was counting down to his birthday. In the text, in the book, you can see him counting down the minutes: 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and 1 minute. But in the movie, he actually draws a birthday cake using the dirt and the dust that was on the floor. And even though it's just a small little detail, but I think the movie made it a bit more heart-wrenching, because in a way we might feel how he feels, not getting the birthday cake even though it's his birthday. So that is the second difference. When Harry went to Diagon Alley to shop for school supplies, he went to get his robe at the robe store. There, he actually meets Draco Malfoy. On page 60, you can see him meeting a boy he described as pale, and they exchange conversation. So how do I know that this pale boy is Draco Malfoy? Well, if you look at page 86 of the book, you can see that it says 3 boys approached Harry, and Harry recognizes the one in the middle as the boy he met when he was getting his robe. That boy introduced himself as Draco Malfoy. So there's the proof. Harry met Draco much earlier. He met him when he was shopping for school supplies, but in the movie they met for the first time at Hogwarts. Moving on to the next difference. So in the Sorcerer's Stone, there are challenges that you need to beat, you need to go through in order to reach the Sorcerer's Stone. The first challenge is you need to face the ferocious 3-headed dog and access the trapdoor. The second one is to escape the devil's snare, which is a plant that kills and strangles its victims. The third challenge is to retrieve a flying key that flies a lot. Like there's a lot of keys that are flying. So you need to catch that key in order to unlock the door and go to the next chamber. The fourth challenge is they need to win a game of chess. Not just an ordinary game of chess, a giant sized chess, wizard chess. The fifth challenge is to complete or solve a potions riddle that was prepared by Professor Snape. And the final challenge is to retrieve the Sorcerer Stone from the Mirror of Eris. So, out of all the challenges here, one challenge was cut out from the movie, and that is the potions challenge. The potion challenge here, as you can see, basically they have to select the correct potion in order to get past the chamber and go to the next one. In this challenge, Hermione showed her intellectual skills at problem solving. She was the one who managed to figure out which potion was the correct potion, and that is how they managed to solve the riddle and get past to the next chambers. Well, that is the end of my part. I think I've spoken enough already about the differences. Maybe yes, maybe no. But it's time to pass the baton to my group mates. I pass the part to Mira Idani.
So my name is Nurmira Idani and I will be presenting the theme for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stones. And first of all, the theme for this book and movie is the value of humility, and there are lots of proof why the theme for this movie and book is value of humility. So I will start by referring to one of the scenes that can be seen from the movie and the book. So first of all, the Dursley family. Even though Harry Potter has been living in a very cruel environment where he lived in a cupboard under the stairs by the Dursley family for more than 10 years, but he did not. Harry Potter did not lose his respect towards the family, as the family has raised him on behalf of his parents. Taking example from the Philosopher's Stone book and movie, Harry Potter stayed humble towards his relatives, even with the cruel treatment received from his aunts, his cousin, and his uncle. And this proved that this movie and book main theme is value of humility. So the next proof that can be taken from the movie and the book is the Harry Potter. As you guys have seen from the movie and have read from the text, despite of knowing his background stories regarding on his parents' death, and his history with you know who, Lord Voldemort, he still he had been receiving some fame towards all through his Hogwarts life. But still, Harry Potter did not use or misuse his fame for his favor, or he had never once taken granted for what he had, for his background stories, or his histories, and this can be used as a proof that the movie and story is promoting the value of humility in the stories, in the movies. And as you can even see from the movie and the text, even Professor Dumbledore, the principal of the Hogwarts, favors Harry more than the rest, more than other students. even though he had been receiving such favor from a huge symbol, or not symbol, a huge icon, Professor Dumbledore, the principal himself, he did not ever once misuse the favoritism that he had received, but he maintained his modesty and his humbleness throughout the movie and text, so that proved that one of the main theme for the movie is humility, the value of humility. So last but not least is Quidditch tournament. So as we can see from the movie and the text, during Harry Potter's first year in Hogwarts, he was actively involved in Quidditch games, but he on almost at the end of the book and movie, he did not he did not give the team their win, but because he crashed due to Philosopher's Stone. But after he woke up from his crash, so he didn't even like make scenes or question what is Slytherin won. It's supposed to be his won or yada yada, but he accepted Slytherin's win and move on completely, and accepted that Slytherin is acknowledge Slytherin's win on the that tournament. So that also shows how humble he is, how modest he is in his own ways, in his gestures. So that's all for me, and thank you.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Raihana binti Razali, and now I will present about social class and ethnic tensions in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Okay. Classism is an ideological stance of prejudice and discrimination on the basis of social class, in which J.K. Rowling engaged with in the story Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Different things indicate social class, but in this story, there are two major indicators of one's status, which are bloodline and economic classification. Okay. In the real world, classism perpetuates leadership being held by a small group of elites. For example, the vast majority of American leaders come from prominent families and attended nationally renowned prestigious institutions. This is reflected in the story and vocalized by Draco Malfoy. However, by depicting two lower-class wizards, Ron and Hermione, as leaders, the fantasy world is critiquing classics ideology and its influence on our understanding of leadership. Nielon and Giraud, 1994, stated that ideology is that which allows us to say our values are better without any reflection on who we might be, and without the slightest shred of evidence to back up the claim. Draco does this exactly when he spews classist ideology in the beginning of the book by stating, "I don't really think they should let other sort in, do you? They're just not the same. They've never been brought up here to know our ways. Some of them have never even heard of Hogwarts until they get the letter. Imagine. I think they should keep it in the old wizarding families." In the quote, Draco shares his classist idea that only those who are born into prominent wizarding families should be allowed to attend Hogwarts. Those who are born from Muggle families should not be allowed admission. In this one statement, Draco establishes social hierarchy using exclusionary language to separate the classes, with old wizarding families at the top and Muggle-born wizard at the bottom. With this purview, Hermione should be considered to be a low-class wizard due to her bloodline, not fit to attend Hogwarts and not fit to be a leader. Rowling critiques this ideology by presenting two low-class wizards as leaders, which are Ron and Hermione. She portrayed Hermione as the smartest girl of their age and Ron as the young wizard who won the wizard chess, thus presenting classist ideology as negative. In similar fashion as the book, the film also critiques classist ideology. It replicates the book in its scenes in which the social hierarchy is established, as well as the scenes in which Hermione and Ron demonstrate their leadership abilities. Therefore, it reproduces the same effect as the book in regards to classist ideology. All in all, J.K. Rowling effectively critiqued classist ideology in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Rowling provides concrete evidence to counter the stance that one must be from an old wizarding family with money in order to be an effective leader, by presenting Ron and Hermione, two lower-class wizards, as such. Interestingly, the vast majority of ideology is vocalized by Draco Malfoy, someone who is arguably characterized as being bad due to the fact that he's spoiled, a bully, and a part of Slytherin, the evil house. Therefore, his classist words are correctly perceived as being negative by the viewer. Ultimately, reading the book or viewing the movie causes one to reflect on how leadership is displayed in the real world. As we live in a society that continues to diversify, it's important for those in power to be able to understand a wide range of perspectives, including the struggles of the lower class. Classism hinders our society from moving forward by segregating power for a small group of people who do not understand the needs of everyone. Therefore, we must realize that you don't have to attend prestigious university or hail from a political dynasty in order to be an amazing leader. That's all from me. Thank you. Draco continues to elaborate on his ideology further on in the book when he said this to Harry. My father told me all the Weasleys have red hair, freckles, and more children than they can afford. You'll soon find out some wizarding families are much better than others, Potter. You don't want to go making friends with the wrong sort. I can help you there. Draco has added another layer to the social economy in the fantasy world, this time placing wizards of low economic status below the old wizarding families but above those who are born to muggle families. With this purview, Ron would be considered to be a low-class wizard due to his economic status of adequate class to attend Hogwarts, but not enough to be in any position of leadership. Okay, through these two statements, Draco has created a social order in which he feels only those at the top should have power. In order to be at the top, you must be from an old prominent wizarding family and have a substantial amount of money. Anyone outside of these guidelines are not fit to have power and subsequently not fit to be in positions of leadership. Draco feels comfortable sharing his thoughts because they are presented as ideologies. He alone doesn't share these sentiments, but a whole group consider it to be a common sense. However, an ideology critic seeks to provide evidence to dismantle degeneration caused by an ideological perspective and to point out the material truth. Okay.
Hi, we meet again. So today we're gonna talk about a movie, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stones, and I am Natalie now, and my topic today is coming of age. So what is coming of age? Coming of age is a young transitions from being a child to being an adult. And it is when someone reaches an important stage of development. So for genre studies, a coming of age focuses on the growth of a protagonist from his or her youth to become an adult. So in Harry Potter series, the Harry Potter and Sorcerer Stone is a coming of age story which a young boy has to grow up and learn to see the world and the people in it. Like he have to see the people, like what they truly are, their traits and behavior, and so on. In this movie, Harry's coming of age journey begins as an 11 years old living with his abusive uncle and auntie. Although his aunt and uncle treat him badly, Harry is just Harry. He disliked them, but he was respectful of the adults because his aunt and uncle give him a roof to stay in. But upon discovering the truth about their lives, Harry tended to become less obedient and he did not naively accept the unfair treatment, so he decided to take his first step on the road to adulthood. This is marked by his first encounter of the magical world, when Hagrid arrives to give Harry his letter. During this scene also, we get to know what really happened to Harry's parents. In Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stones, Harry starts to choose his own path of life when he asks to be placed into Gryffindor house. This is where Harry learns more about who he is and he progresses further in his coming of age. He starts new school, meet new friend, which is Ron and Hermione, and also begin to discover what kind of person he is and what he wants to do with his life. Therefore, I believe that Harry's first year at Hogwarts is possibly the most significant time in his life towards maturity. It is undoubtedly darker and complicated, but it is the time where the wizarding world that builds the foundation of the person he will become. To sum up, we can see that Harry changed a lot from a baby boy to someone who holds an important key to save the world. Having been bullied, abused, losing his family, he was suddenly thrust into a world where he was viewed as a hero and a boy with great potential.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Afika binti Rahimi and I will be continuing the presentation on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So I will be discussing on the good and evil, the eternal battle. I will be straight to the point. Hagrid said that not all wizards are good, and from this very scene, we are introduced to Voldemort, and we know that he killed Harry's parents. And Hagrid also said that anyone that stood up to him ended up dead except Harry. And Harry is very famous and he get the title of the boy who lived. And then in my opinion, I can see that Slytherin is on the evil side, maybe a little bit. This is because Hagrid said that better Hufflepuff than Slytherin, and there's not a single witch or wizard who went bad who wasn't in Slytherin. You know who was one. So from this scene, we know that actually Voldemort is from Slytherin, and this Hagrid statement raises questions about how much of good and evil can be put down to fate, and how much to personality. And we can see also from the scene during Quidditch match, Slytherin play very roughly towards Gryffindor, and they are willing to do everything. They willing to do everything, not considering the good and the bad, just to win the match. And then we can also see the evil in when the movie talk about the unicorn. There is a monstrous creature that slay a unicorn, which is a very terrible crime because unicorn in the movie and the book is seen as a very pure creature. So it is said that only one who has nothing to lose and everything to gain would commit such a crime. The blood of a unicorn will keep you alive, even if you are an inch from death, but at a terrible price. You have slain something so pure and defenseless to save yourself, and you will have a half-life, a cursed life from the moment the blood touches your lips. So, I would also want to discuss about the character Snape. Actually, in the movie and also in the book, Snape acts really weird and suspicious, and he also being someone who is not very nice to Harry, and it giving Harry and Ron plenty of reasons not to trust him, and it also getting the idea of him working for Voldemort. And Harry, Ron, and Hermione have a certain amount of evidence, and they have guessed rightly in many aspects about the Sorcerer's Stone. But they just wrong about which teacher is secretly evil. At least in this case, it was actually Professor Quirrell. And then now I will be talking about Voldemort. So definitely Voldemort is on the evil side. We know actually from the book and the movie, we don't really know his history because this is the very first series of the Harry Potter series, but we know that he's the one who killed Harry's parents, so definitely he is on the evil side. And towards the end of the story, Voldemort said that there is no good and evil. There is only power and those too weak to seek it. So we know that he tried to kill Harry, but no one knows why or how. But when he couldn't kill Harry, Voldemort's power somehow broke, and that's why he's gone. And that is also why the reason why he needs the Sorcerer's Stone to gain his power back. For this presentation, the good and the evil, the eternal battle, I would like to make a comparison about the character Voldemort and Harry. So in the book and also in the movie, we can see Voldemort as someone who lived off another, a mere parasite, the one who sustained by unicorn blood, and also he cannot give a body on his own. And we also see him as the half alive, the half defeated, unicorn killing, and also the evil blood drinking wizard. But on the other hand, Harry is someone who has friends. He has Ron and Hermione on his side, and also he has support and protection from his teachers, and also from Hagrid. And also we can see that he has bravery in him, and that I don't think Voldemort has the characteristics. And according to Prof. Dumbledore, Harry's mother sacrificed herself for him, leaving the mark of love. So again, I don't think Voldemort has love for him. And Prof. Dumbledore also said that only if a person who worked to find the stone, who wanted to find the stone, find it but not use it, would be able to get it. So we can see that we can see the reason why Harry got the stone, and in this case Harry wins. So in this movie and also this book, we can see that the good side win. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is Farosna and I'll be talking about the theme death and its meaning of life. Death could be a sensitive issue for some of us. It is closely related to loss and grief. Loss is the feeling of grief that is usually experienced after the death of a loved one. So, if you ever experience this, seek comfort from your trusted companion. So, back to the theme of death and its meaning of life. So, what is the meaning of death and what is the meaning of life? Death means the end of a life of a human being or a living thing. Meanwhile, life is a state of existing. The meaning of life, which is to find the significance of living, is vastly discussed throughout our life journey. Only we have the power to decide the worth of our life. For today, we will look at the theme in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, both the film and the original book. Death is a major theme in this story. Death initiates the core conflict of the Harry Potter series. Death creates the tool which Harry can defeat Voldemort, and death resolves the conflict in the end when Voldemort's death is the end of the war in Harry Potter series. So, fun fact, the name Voldemort in French has the meaning of flight from death. Death in this story can be portrayed as heroism, as they accept death to protect something or for the good of something. The story set off when Harry's parents were killed by Voldemort. This can be seen in both the movie and the book when Harry's parents, Lily and James Potter, died when fighting Voldemort, the antagonist, Evil Witch. When Harry's mother, Lily, sacrificed herself to protect Harry, an ancient magic that is based upon a mother's love causes Voldemort's killing curse to rebound back to him. The killing curse left Harry alive, but also left a lightning bolt scar on his forehead. The scar is believed to have a deeper emotional meaning. It is symbolic of the emotional scar people face when they deal with death and losing loved ones. In this story, in the movie and the book as well, the issue of how we will cope with loss and learn to deal with grief are also being discussed. Harry saw his desperate desire in the mirror of Eris, a mirror that shows one's greatest desire, grieving for the loss of his parents. However, he was able to overcome his grief by having great connection, such as friendship with Hermione and Ron, and having close relationship with Professor Dumbledore and Hagrid, as we can see in both the movie and the book. The meaning of life can be seen when Harry confronts Voldemort for the Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone is also known as the key component of the elixir of life, which allowed the keeper to live forever. Harry only obtains the Philosopher's Stone from the Mirror of Eris because he has no intention to use it. On the other hand, Voldemort refused to accept death. He drank unicorn blood in order to extend his life. However, in the words of Centaur, the blood of a unicorn will keep you alive, even if you an inch from your death, but at a terrible price. Thus, immortality, a life without death, equals for a happier life, a fulfilling life? We can see that Voldemort is feared by other witches. In the book and the movie, he was willing to live an eternal life even if it means only to be feared and never to be loved. When we accept mortality, we begin to realize that our decisions have consequences for ourselves and also others. Harry accepts that he must kill Voldemort even though his life is at risk. He was in the same position as his parents, fighting against evil, not afraid of death, to protect Hogwarts and his beloved ones. Harry lived a worth living life. He is loved by his loved ones and found the meaning of his life, his love for magic, and found precious companion along the way. So, what can we conclude from the theme Death and its meaning of life? Death is a part of life. Harry Potter demonstrates that in order to understand the meaning of life, we must accept our inevitable death. When we accept our mortality, we begin to live our life to the fullest. We will realize that we don't have eternity, and this gives meaning and agency to our choices. Our mortality gives us a reason to love. Everyone has their due dates. What matters is how we use our time to have a life worth living. That is all from me. Thank you.